Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator news and updates. And we got quite a few new aircraft, some updates on some very anticipated aircraft, and more in today's announcements. So stick around, guys. Make sure if you guys can that you join us at Flight Sim Expo 2023. That's right, Overkill Simulations is going to be present this year, guys, at the Lone Star Museum in Houston, Texas. If you guys are interested in joining us there, be sure to check down the description below. There is a coupon code that can save you guys a bit of money using my personal reference to get you there. Again, that'll save you a bit of cash in your Flight Sim Expo 2023 experience. This is going to be June 23rd through the 25th of 2023. Again, in Houston, Texas, at the Lone Star Flight Museum. I went a few years ago in Las Vegas, and they are an absolute great time. There's some very, very informative and educational seminars to help better your flight simming experience, as well as a ton of developers of both hardware and software that you guys actually get to try out, essentially a try before you buy experience, as well as talking with the developers themselves and finding out what the products are all about. So again, guys, it's going to be Flight Sim Expo 2023 in Houston, Texas. I hope to see you guys all there. Don't forget to use my coupon code that you can find down in the description below. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come along down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below, and thank you to all of my current subscribers. All right, so first up, we have the aerodynamics update for the DC-10 and the KC-10 variant here that you guys are seeing. The KC-10 variant, or the extender, the air-to-air refueler used by the military, as well as the DC-10 configurations that are coming with this particular aircraft. Now, this aircraft, we have not seen much information about it in quite a long time, but Aerodynamics finally took to their Discord page and shared some new images about the aircraft. External modeling of the aircraft has been just about completed with still more tweaks. Obviously, given the fact that it hasn't been updated, everything that you see here is subject to change. However, the nice thing is that they're starting to show off some of the more interior aspects of the aircraft. Here we're seeing the cargo hangars for this particular incredibly large bird. As you guys all know, the DC-10 or KC-10 extender is a tri-engine aircraft. So that's going to be a much different aspect of flight than we're used to in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now here, this is one of my favorite pictures, actually showing the KC-10 boom control station. I think that'd be kind of fun if you can actually get down there and do it, but you'd need an aircraft to actually do some AAR. So I'm wondering if they're going to find any kind of way to tie that into anything, or if it's just for, fun kicks and grins. So, I mean, either way, obviously still a very awesome experience. The KC-10 or the DC-10 is an aircraft that I would much like to have in my particular hangar. Now, just as well as we saw a bunch from the interior of the cargo bay, we are also seeing new lighting and obviously new features being brought to the cockpit. They are stating that this is going to be the most simulated KC-10 or DC-10, depending on which variant you prefer, that is currently available in the simulation experience. Now, please remember, guys, this aircraft also did exist in P3D. So some of the images that we're going to see may be coming down the line as far as still making that migration process, if memory serves. But obviously, by the time that it hits Microsoft Flight Simulator, I'm sure it's going to be right up to our standards. This team is certainly doing a fantastic job. I'm loving the development updates that we're starting to see here, and I hope to see some remarkable changes towards the end, changes being the timeline of release, because personally, in its current condition, I would love to fly it. I think this would be a lot of fun to have. Now, I don't know if I just happened to miss the release of this particular aircraft or even its development, but Bear Studios, a developer that I quite frankly have never even heard of, has released their version of the MiG-15. For those of you who don't know, the MiG-15 was a very comparable aircraft during the Korean War era and even parts of Vietnam. One of its great, in Korean theater, one of its great adversaries was none other than the F-86 Sabre. So it's definitely a very fun aircraft. I can tell you guys that I have flown it in DCS World. A whole different generation. This is when dogfighting was still absolutely in its prime. In the aspect of there wasn't a whole lot of development into the range of missiles and things like that. So it was still a matter of outshoot and outturn and outfly your opponent. And again, this was definitely a big competitor against the F-86 Sabre and Super Sabre. So this is a very welcome rendition of the aircraft to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't know if I'm going to be giving this one a shot or not yet. I'm sort of on the fence. There's a couple of aircraft that I definitely am going to be picking up. So, and we're going to be talking about one of those today that you guys can expect to see on the channel. So I sort of have to get to where I have to pick and choose who makes it to the hangar this week, but we'll see. But definitely a very beautiful rendition of the aircraft. Very, very impressive. And I believe you can find it on the sim market for right around $30 US. So keep that in mind, guys. And we have yet another aircraft that has reached the skies of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and this is going to be the British-built Chilton DW1A from the A1R Design Bureau. Now, I have never actually heard of this developer either. I don't know where I've been, apparently hiding under a rock or something. However, this aircraft is priced at a very acceptable, right around 15 to 17 US dollars, give or take, change, tax, etc. But the aircraft was built in the 1930s by the British, and they are boasting a brand new computational fluid dynamics flight model, meaning that the aircraft is actually going to behave as close to as it could in real world based on the environment that's actually happening around you. They're boasting 2K PBR high definition textures, as well as WWise sound system. Now, if you guys remember, we've talked about the WWise sound system a while back when it first came out. I can't remember which aircraft it was, but it is sort of a new generation of audio recording for simulation purposes, in our case at least. That gives definitely a much higher quality sound recording of the aircraft as you're flying. So it definitely changes things. This is kind of a goofy little plane. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few other screenshots of this. You guys can get what I'm talking about. Look at that landing gear. You do not want to come down at the bad angle on that one. That would be bad. It'd be like a pogo stick just bouncing you right to the ground. Such a low wheel skirt on this thing. It's pretty cool looking though. Definitely showing its age, which I really appreciate. I would call this very much so a more restored design of this. So if you're looking for that old-fashioned, worn-out, beat-to-crappy look, it doesn't look like you're going to get that from here, but more of a restoration process of an aircraft. So definitely another fun, very unique open cockpit design, which again, we don't see very much from the open cockpit side of the things. So this might be kind of a fun one to try out, and especially given the limited gauges and things like that. One of the things that I really look for in these types of aircraft, these are the aircraft that I like to fly in VR because it really changes the experience. Yeah, one that you guys know that one's available as well on Sim Market, like I said, right around 17 US dollars. A quick update on the Freedom Fox Model 2 from Parallel 42's development team. This aircraft is actually on sale right now, and I actually don't know if it's sale or if the price was just reduced. The article states that the price was just reduced. I actually picked this up and did a video on it a couple days ago, just yesterday, actually, I think it was, if you guys are interested in checking that out. The Freedom Fox 42 is a fun STOL aircraft. It is an absolute blast. Has a bunch of really neat features that make it kind of fun, tents and packing things and whatnot. But the overall performance of the aircraft is an absolute blast. It is very, very quick, very, very responsive. I need to definitely sharpen up on my STOL skills because I definitely don't think I'm taking full advantage of what this aircraft has to offer. But definitely wanted to bring this one up to everybody's attention given the fact that the price dropped so significantly. You can buy the base package, which I believe is just the aircraft, for right around 15 US dollars, and then you can get the complete package, which has a bunch of other things, as well as sceneries, mods, liveries, and things like that, other features that are available with the aircraft, for $24.99 US dollars. Definitely worth it, guys. Even if you're just interested in the aircraft, go ahead and just buy the base package. If you guys are interested in an aircraft like this, I promise it's a ton of fun. One of the things that they did really, really well is they actually redid the suspension system feel, if you will, in the aspect that the landings feel more natural and more bouncy, I guess, as you would expect landing on rough terrain and things like that, where it doesn't feel like every single landing is that perfect hard surface runway landing. So they did a really good job of really bringing that animation, that feeling back to the aircraft to give it some realistic behavior on the ground. So definitely check this one out, guys. Again, if you guys are interested, I have a video on that I posted just yesterday. So just go ahead and go to my recent videos list and you guys will find it very easily. TFDI Design MD-11. By the way, guys, I made a mistake earlier in the video. You should have already seen the text on it, but it is not I don't know what the heck I was thinking. The DC-10 is not coming from P3D. This one was partially from P3D. And that is the MD-11, again, from TFDI Designs. However, they are showing off more progress being worked on with the cockpit. This is another very big, very powerful aircraft that I am definitely looking forward to trying out. These bigger aircraft offer quite a lot of simulation opportunity, especially given the fact that you can go a lot of the places, even as the article states that, for example, something like the 747 couldn't. Now, one of the things that I do want to talk about again is this is still very early development. It's still obviously having to be refined and shaped up further a bit for Microsoft Flight Simulator. And the reason why I point that out is there are certain aspects in some of these screenshots, and I'm not going to point them out. If you guys see it, by all means, but you can see that P3D texturing, and some of it absolutely has the sharpened look that we would expect from Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, I will also say this, when it comes to the cabin work, I really don't expect a whole lot from that, because I'm not going to be spending my time walking in and out through the cabins and things like that. I like to spend my time up in the front seat, you know, where the business end is. But if it is something that is really important to a lot of you guys, you know, we all sim differently. We all look for different things in our simulations. I would definitely say that there's definitely been a big update. This is certainly not P3D graphics, significantly better than that. But I think there are certain areas that they may want to sharpen up quite a bit yet still, if they're going for that full rich feature all the way through from nose to tail, if you will. I guess the best way to say it. But definitely looking forward to this aircraft, and it's very nice to see again another tri-engine coming up to the line here. This is going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to have the DC-10 and the MD-11 at some point, and we're going to have to see which one takes the toll when it all comes down to it, because they're both very big, very powerful aircraft, very iconic aircraft. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see them up and running. And this is the aircraft that I am definitely going to be picking up for all of us here, guys. And that is going to be the Flight Sim Studio Tecnam P2006 Tango Mark II. This aircraft looks absolutely cool. I love the amount of detail and effort that was put into this aircraft. It is a fully functional, as true to life as they can really make it from or for the Microsoft Flight Simulator aircraft. They actually had actual access to the real thing. So you had real pilot behavior, real pilot input of the aircraft. And obviously that helps immensely with everything across the board. You have multiple modes that are being supported here, whether you're looking for that realistic simulation experience or you're just looking for that general flight sim having fun. I'm really looking forward to trying this one out. I like the way the tablet looks. You can see that they're performing an outside check here. This is going to be really, really cool. I'm super stoked about this one. Definitely going to be picking this one up. We're definitely going to be flying this, if not tonight, then definitely by tomorrow. This one looks really, really, really neat. Now, this is their actual advertisement video found on YouTube. There is a link to this down in the description below, as always, guys. So make sure you give them a like and a subscribe. Check this one out. But watch, there's one part specifically that I want you guys to see on this that I was super excited about. One of the things that we're still starting to see more and more coming around, but not as often as I would have expected yet, but we're starting to see more and more failure simulation. And there's a really neat thing that they do here that actually brings some of that to life and showcases some of this failure possibilities. So just stick around for just a minute here. We're basically walking through the whole darn thing, but you can see you have multiple variants of the aircraft. Check that out. They even got the tablet showing off their own YouTube channel. So I want to make sure you guys check it out here. Again, a link to this will be down in the description below. Give them a like, give them subscribe. It's always cool to help the developers out. But here it comes, right? So here's the part that gets really cool. Check this out. It's got circuit breakers. They pulled the circuit breaker for landing gear. Uh-oh, landing gear handle's not working, right? Check this out. The emergency drop valve works. Pop it, bleed it, down comes our gear. And I'm sure there's more to it than that, but even if there's not, again, these developers starting to take these extra steps to really enhance that simulation experience, especially if you can set up some sort of random failure scenario. Anyway, guys, a link to this aircraft will be down in the description below. Again, this is from the Aerosoft, if I remember correctly, is where we need to pick this one up from. So you can use your Aerosoft One application if you have it installed, or go directly to the site. But we will definitely be flying this one on the channel. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed this release of news and updates from Microsoft Flight Simulator. We obviously have more to come. We've got some really exciting stuff coming down the line in the next coming weeks for the channel that I'm super excited. A massive improvement is about to come to the home build cockpit that I'm really excited to show you guys. There's just so much happening around us right now. Patreon guides. We have multiple guides that are going to be released this month. The G1000 NXI guide is finally complete. I will be posting it tomorrow afternoon. And then we are also going to be posting some updates to the Cessna Citation Longitude guide, as well as a couple others, and starting to work on a CRJ guide based on very popular requests. So stick around as always, guys. Stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.